Hello, everyone. Welcome to Foodture Barcelona, day 2. Today, we're going to discuss about the future of water. If you joined us yesterday, you would have listened to the Social Crisis Food Solutions panel, in which we discussed water as a right for every human being. So today, we're going to deepen a little bit into this topic. But first, we would like to thank all of our sponsors for believing in us and making this possible. Our innovation partner, Next by VMLY&R, and also all our, I'm sorry. I just wanted to thank everybody, but do it really quick because we have really interesting people for you to meet. So I'm gonna welcome them all. Please, can we see our guests for today, our speakers? So we have Karlijn from Notpla, we have Santi from Motions 52, and we have Michael from Watergen. So I would like all of you to introduce yourselves a little bit, and then we will start discussing the future of water. Karlijn, you go first. There you go.
We can hear you.
Hello, nice to meet you all. Thank you for having me. I'm just quickly going to share my screen with you. Can you see this?
Yes.
Cool.
We can see.
I'm Karlijn and I work for Notpla, which is a startup based in London, and we work on making plastic packaging disappear. I work here as a design director, and we're a team of about 25 people, all from different backgrounds, chemists, engineers, designers, and commercial team. So it's really exciting. So to show a little bit what we work on, we kind of started off with the aim to replace the plastic bottle. So to make, at the moment, a plastic bottle for 1 liter of water, you need to use 6 liters of water only to make the packaging of it, and 1 cup of oil. And you maybe use the bottle for 5 minutes, but then it takes more than 700 years for the plastic bottle to decompose. And we all know the big problems that causes with our oceans, and as well as other places in our environment. So we started to make this product called Ojo, which is basically an edible water sachet. So it's really about how can we rethink how packaging can work. So basically what we kind of compare it to is why do we have a bottle that you maybe use for 5 minutes and then the material that takes so long to decompose? How can we make the shelf life of the content fit the shelf life of the packaging? So we started to approach it more like a fruit. As you can see on the left, that's Notpla decomposing in about 10 days, kind of the same way as a fruit peel decomposes. And as I said before, it can be edible. It's edible as well. So we make our packaging from seaweed mainly and plants, because seaweed grows really fast. It doesn't compete with land for food crops. It is regenerating ecosystems in the ocean, and it can sequester carbon. So we think it's a really interesting material to start from. And so I showed you kind of to show what kind of applications we use it in. So we did, for instance, the marathon in London here to replace the plastic bottles and the plastic cups that are used normally. It's very short term that you use it and it's thrown on the ground, and now the runners grabbed the Ojos and they drank the energy drink. So we did that together with Lucas 8, as well as to fit, so we can fit it with different kind of liquids. So we did as well with sauce sachets that are really used for one time, for a short time, and then they can decompose again in 6 weeks. So they can go into the normal waste bin and decompose, or they can be planted in the soil. And then based on the same technology, we also we made kind of a range of different packaging applications. So we also have a coating made from seaweed, and that is kind of like normally when you have a takeaway box, paper by itself doesn't have barrier properties like to resist oil or the food, and it would stain it. So at the moment, there's a lot of plastics that are introduced to the paper, which makes it impossible to recycle and biodegrade. So you can see on the left was our paper with the natural liner, and then the other one you see really nicely how the worms eat the paper, but they don't eat the plastic that it is coated with. And then finally, we also made films, which is really fun because making it from natural materials gives us a lot of new opportunities in terms of design and color and really rethinking of how we use these kind of packaging. So for instance, we made this spaghetti films that can just go into the pan and it will dissolve with your pasta. As well, we can integrate some colors and flavoring in that. So the packaging experience is very different. And we also made these water soluble ones. So that's, I think, really shortly us. Let me see how I can stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much. That's amazing, the work you do regarding sustainable packaging. Now, let's hear a little bit from Michael from Watergen. Hi, Michael.
Hi, great pleasure being with you. Hello all the way from Tel Aviv, Israel. My name is Michael Rutman, and I'm the Deputy CEO of Watergen. And if I would like to describe what we do here in Watergen in one simple sentence, it would be we create water from air. So I also will share my screen with you, and we will do a short presentation for you guys to know a little bit who we are and what we do.
Perfect.
So I will start actually with the problem. And we all know about the problem that all of us are facing. And I don't think that the majority of the people around the world can understand how severe it is. So by 2025, half of the world population will be living in water-stressed areas. And this is a serious threat to our being and to our society. 2.1 billion people globally lack access to safe drinking water. 25% of the US citizens are actually drink water from systems that don't meet the safety standards. So the problem is here, and it's not the problem of the future. It is actually the problem of our current state on the planet. The second thing, which is not less important, and here I would like to join Karlijn on what she said just a few minutes ago about the plastic wastage that is actually killing the planet and becoming the biggest threat to us and to global warming. Because, you know, every minute, 1.1 million plastic bottles are being purchased all around the world, and 95% of them are not recycled. This is very, very serious. So we believe that the solution is to create a new source of drinking water that extracts clean drinking water from actually the biggest source, the biggest reservoir that we have, and this is the air. Watergen was developed actually a pioneering and innovative water from air technology. The company was founded in 2009. We have now the world's most efficient atmospheric water generator. With a global footprint, we are present today in about 60 countries all around the globe, where our machines are working and saving lives of tens of thousands of people every day. We have a multidisciplinary R&D team, a very big R&D team located here in Tel Aviv, Israel, developing water applications for home, office, industrial, automotive, marine, and actually any industry that you can imagine. And today we are manufacturing our products on 3 continents. A little bit about us, the rewards. We got Best Innovation in CES Las Vegas in 2019 and 2020. We've been chosen as the Best Innovation in 2019 by the Time magazine. And we were chosen by one of the 50 tech pioneers by the World Economic Forum. So as I said earlier, here are a small footprint of our machines and our install base all around the world. And I'm showing you this map again to emphasize the fact that this isn't the future. Actually, this is the present. We are here, the machines are working, and people already consuming water from Watergen machines. A little bit about our technology and how it's actually work and how we create water from air. So we actually take the air, the same air as we are all breathing, we clean it because we don't know in which location it's installed. Then our genius patented technology extracts the humidity out of this air. Then the water gets multiple stage filtration and mineralization, and you have it. You have enough water to drink. And as you will see in a second, it fits every scale that is needed for consumption. So just on a nutshell, the advantages of Watergen. So we are the most energy efficient atmospheric water generator with 5 times more water per kilowatt hour that can be generated. It's environmentally friendly. It's plug and drink solution. In order to use our technology and to install our machines, all you need to do is to use a power source, and that's it. Premium drinking water quality, scalable structure. It means you can put an array of machines and create as much water as you need. And of course, we can operate with any kind of energy, which means renewable energy or a grid or any kind of energy available can be used for our machines. So,
thank you, Michael. I'm going to have to cut it short here. I apologize because of that. Already our time has gone by. I am going to introduce Santi now. Santi Mier from Oceans 52. We have 5 minutes for introduction, sorry.
It's okay.
And then we can jump into explanations.
Then we're going to have time to go deeper into all of your work. Santi, your turn. We can't hear you. Your microphone. Okay, now.
Now should be ready. Okay, so thank you very much for the invitation, and it's a pleasure to be here with such an interesting technologies. The fact is that for us at Ocean 52, we realize that we are facing a very serious issue. And the serious issue is not just water or keeping our ecosystem. Probably it's time. We are running out of time. And this is at the core of our decisions to say it's time to act. We would love to be collaborating with Notpla, with Watergen technologies, whatever it comes that reduces, but we needed to create a kind of shortcut into it. So I'm going to share a couple of details on what we do. So I hope everything is saying this one. So basically, at Ocean 52, we are defined as we are offering hydration for ocean lovers. And as a matter of fact, everybody in the earth is loving the ocean. I have not found anybody that is hating the ocean. So I guess that we are offering hydration for everybody. Let's see if it works. Okay, clear. As I was saying before, if you have a look at what the scientists are saying about, let's say, the sustainability of the ocean, some of them, they say that we are just 10 years ahead of saving the ocean. So if we do not act now, kind of protecting what is the ocean for us at CO2 balancing, or creating enough fish stock, or not absorbing a lot of plastics or pollution that is absorbing today, we are gonna have a big issue in the sense of humankind survivability. And I think that we all share this, but it's really time to act. We decided to be the first one, and probably the only one today, only drink company in the world that devotes 50% of our distributable profits to ocean protection activities. We wanted to go farther than regular innovation in packaging, in products, in technologies. We wanted to go one step further and create a new impact business, because what could be better for a business than to keep sustainability as a core and becoming a real actor in protecting the most precious source for us, which is the ocean. Obviously, this company is totally aligned with sustainable development goals, and for us, it was not a question of deciding which goal to choose, because we were, all of us, ocean lovers since the beginning. We have been working with marine biologists, working for National Geographic, with water sports champions in their different, be it sailing or scuba diving or surfing. All of us are coming from really deeply loving the ocean. So we had the sense that we need to give back to the ocean what the ocean was giving to us. And our weapons, basically our actions. So we are totally into following one nice sentence by Jacques Cousteau, the famous oceanographer, that he was saying is the more you know, the more you love, the more you love, the more you protect. So raising awareness about ocean fantastic features or ocean fragility is one of the main things we do through our documentaries, through our beach cleanups, through our meetings, and also through our products. And regarding the products, when we decided, okay, let's offer this hydration for everybody that really loves the ocean, the first thing that we did is, okay, packaging obviously is something that needs to be avoided, but it cannot be avoided everywhere, every time. Probably we are the only company in the world in water recommending to drink tap water. Okay, so in each of our products, we say, yes, please do not drink this product. You need to drink tap water. But some cases, because of convenience, because of safety, because of taste, you cannot access really high quality water. And this is why we have chosen to launch no plastic water. As the name says, it's quite easy to understand. It is what is offering is a water can in eternally recyclable aluminum. For those that don't know, metal is a fantastic material that can last forever and ever and ever. And just think about gold. Okay, when you have a piece of gold like jewelry, what do? You keep it for life, and the only thing that you do is you melt it and you transform it to another piece of jewelry that you really love. The same is happening with aluminium. So once it's extracted, aluminium can stay forever. And in fact, 75% of the aluminium that has been extracted in the world in all its history is still in place. Today is the most recycled packaging because it's easy to sort. And this is just the starting. As soon as new technologies like Notpla, like others are coming into let's say, industrial scale, we will be always choosing what is best for the ocean and what is best for creating the business so that we can reinvest the 52% of the profits back to ocean protection activities.
That's great, Santi. Thank you very much. I think we have a really clear view of why the Foodture Curation team chose your amazing companies for the work that all of you do. We had an additional speaker called Arturo Vittori from Water. He unfortunately told us that he was not going to be available to join today because he's in Africa at the moment, and where he's located, he doesn't have enough internet coverage. But I just wanted to mention a little bit his project. They have a project within Warka Water called Warka Towers, and with ancestral technology, they build towers that capture the water from the dew of the morning, from the clouds, from the rain. So it's another way of bringing drinking water more accessible to rural locations. So unfortunately, he's not here with us, but I'm going to leave the word now for Nacho so we can start debating the future of water.
Hello, everyone. With your permission, I will start to talk with you because at the end, what we want to do here is to create a debate and talk together about which is the transition to regenerative ecosystems. No? So we want to touch 3 lines today: sustainability, new materials, and future. Starting through sustainability, how the change of the model in exploration of water by brands can turn them into protectors of ecosystems. I let the word to Karlijn first, please.
Can you repeat the question for me?
Yeah, I will take out my mask, sorry,
No
for the ones that don't like that. It's how the change of model in exploration of water by brands can turn them into protectors of ecosystems. So there's a transition to a regenerative economy that protects ecosystems?
Okay. So if I understand the question correctly, is like what kind of influence the brands can have on making these kind of changes?
Exactly, and protecting the ecosystems through the proper economic exercise.
Yeah. So I think for us, it's really exciting that we getting a lot of responses from big brands that want to make changes. And a lot of the times is then for us, it's mainly a challenge always of how to adapt these new kind of products in the situations that they're using at the moment, and to see them understanding how those kind of products works. And I think for them, I think it's really important to work together a lot with testing them out. So I think it's one thing then that a brand needs to be convinced, but then it's like, how do you get it to a customer as quickly as possible, and how do people interact with it, and how do people take over these kind of changes? So I think in that way, it's like really good that the brands are making these kind of efforts to push for those kind of things. I think as well I think it's really important that brands take a really big stand in their values and really look not only on the surface, but really try to, if they want to make changes, that they really go into more depth of understanding of what the impact is when they're choosing an alternative, because sometimes it's very confusing when something might be good and what really the end of life of a product is. So I think that's something that brands can be strong in. I think you're on mute.
Now, so there's a new range of companies protecting the earth, and we are creating brands. Also, as a consumer, you are deciding anytime you choose the product you want to buy, the world that you want to live in, right? So how, Santi, what do you think? Because that's something extremely important in your project, to protect the sources and resources.
Yeah. So the thing is that the way I see it is I will explain you my personal story, or how we were transformed into just consumers and regular executives or people working their normal life into something that it's a new business model. I think that we were transformed by the access to knowledge. So today, the more we know, the more impact it has in our decisions. And this is for us what is what is giving birth to all these new brands, to all these new companies, is not just because some activists crazy enough, they really want to change the world because it's, let's have a better place. It's not only this. It all started by having access to the right information, which I think it was also the case in the past. We didn't have access at this information, or we didn't know enough what were the consequences of the model that we were running. So now I think, and I share this with a lot of different companies, be it very large and established companies or be it new companies, is that sustainability is not just a fad. It's not something that is, it's cool to be sustainable. It's because we realize that if we destroy our world, we destroy our companies, we destroy our employees' life. So there is no way not to introduce sustainability at the core of each of our decisions. So I think that in every aspect, so consumer goods, especially water, water has been always a very protective environmental, let's say, business, because we needed to protect our source. Okay? But now we know that it's not only the source of your raw material, it's also the impact that you do with the rest of things. How do you transport? How do you pack it? How do you consume it? And I think that this is little by little becoming let's say, a force of transformation. And we will need to face with a lot of skill barriers, because many of these large companies, they still live in their old model. And this is why it gives us space for companies like the three ones that you are presenting today. It's our let's say, opportunity to show that there is another way to do that. Luckily, will be successful for us, but needs to be successful for many other companies following this stream.
Totally true. We know that the water is a social right, it's a human right, and is essential, right? So in terms of waste reduction, responsible, sustainable consumption, packaging, transportation, and distribution, how do you think, how important is packaging today in the water sector? I know that you were explaining and it's based, but let's get a chapter on this. And Michael, now it's your turn. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We believe, and this is one of our part of our vision, that water don't have to be transported at all. Because we can create water everywhere on the spot. And this is very, very easy. And if we decentralize the water systems and will supply fresh, clean drinking water everywhere, in homes, offices, plants, on the go, in the cars, everywhere, we don't need packaging at all. And with all the respect to the new environmental packaging, it still has the economic effect, and it brings up the prices of water. And unfortunately, undeveloped countries, it will take them a lot of time until they will be able to enjoy actually the environmental friendly packaging, and this is hugely important. Now, reducing actually packaging, it's not just the packaging itself. It also, when you reduce the packaging, you reduce transportation, because all those trucks that are moving water, and you know that if you reduce the movement of drinking water, you would reduce the amount of food transportation by about something like in 47%. And this is the carbon footprint that is being reduced dramatically only by stopping the water transportation. And of course, it has all the other impacts of traffic and so on. So it goes way beyond packaging. That's my view of it.
Thank you very
Michael.
much. And what do you think about giving access to these kinds of technologies everywhere? Because it's true that with this amazing technology, you can create water on the spot. But where we don't have this kind of technology, what can we do to make water more accessible? There's scarcity. So this kind of technology is going to be more common than not in the future. But for the moment, it's still something really new. What can this kind of communities that don't have access to it do?
So as I told you in my opening speech, it's not the future. We are working together with governments, private companies, even direct to consumers, and investing huge amounts of funds and efforts in order to make this technology more accessible. And you know, it's an amazing question, because usually people say that time is money. In case of water, I think that time is people's lives, and time is a future of our planet. So the more, and it only depends on us, the more we will push, the faster this technology will be available everywhere on Earth.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now that we're talking a little bit about access and security of water has like 2 points of view. One of them would be the security and the safety and for the ones that drink it, and also the safety of our ecosystems. That is something that Santi is really connected with through the work that they do at Oceans 52. These kind of initiatives that protect our oceans nowadays, Santi, do you feel that they're getting more recognized? That the work that is being done can actually help us reduce all the damage that we have been creating so far?
I think I think that the ocean is becoming a battlefront for all humankind, because we are all connected with the ocean. I think there is 75% of the population is living at less than 200 kilometers far from the ocean, because the ocean is life. So we will be facing ocean transformation very quickly. The ocean transformation is something that we were not exposed to. In the past, the ocean was like a blue carpet that you can put everything underneath. Right now, we will be suffering from some species reduction. So more and more, let's say that 90% of the species that we consume as humans will be disappearing in the next years. Okay, so you will be having less stock. Then you will be facing pollution problems. There are more and more sewage going through rivers and going through big cities that are not able to cope with the rhythm of cleaning sewage. As a matter of fact, in Barcelona, for example, as is a Europe, a well-developed country, more than 90 days a year, the system of treating water cannot cope with the heavy rains. Okay? When they cannot cope with the rhythm of heavy rain, what do? They open, and everything is flowing into the ocean. Okay? And it's one of the safest and cleanest cities surrounding the Mediterranean. So imagine what can happen in the rest. Okay? So, and this is something that we, as people living by the ocean or by the Mediterranean, will be seeing ourselves. But going to the last and the most simple thing, and this is what is connected to all this packaging and plastic thing. There is something that is unstoppable, which is the growing of population. This is unstoppable. We are going to hit more than 7 billion people living in the world and going farther than this. And all of us, we will be consuming at the same rhythm or a little bit less. Imagine that we solve this overconsumption problem, but will be more people consuming, and this finishes by creating packaging or creating materials. Even if we have Watergen everywhere, there will be more companies and more things creating still packaging and very convenient thing. So the thing is that when you go with your kids, you go to the beach, and I did the exercise. 10 years ago, I was collecting seashells, so something like mussels and stuff like that. Now I'm collecting plastic pieces every time. It's by your foot, it's what you see. And this image of plastic becoming microplastic going into fish stomachs becoming your source of, the way of eating fish for you. I think that this image has created a connection on your brain that is not anymore litter, it's not anymore something that is dirty, it's something that will affect your life, it will affect your health. And it has turned this into, let's say, a tipping point for us, because we know that the way we consume, it's killing not only the environment is also a threat for our health.
Thank you, Santi. You're totally right. And it's quite scary. But as I think there's a lot of hope in these kinds of new alternatives, like the sustainable packagings. But I have one question for Karlijn. What do you think the reception of the public nowadays is? Because it is true that now we're understanding more the consequences of the systems we've lived in. But these kinds of alternatives are going to be available for some people more than others, because the social factors are always going to be involved in availability. But how do you think a general public that really doesn't have access to information and innovation will receive these kinds of initiatives, like, for example, the seaweed-based degradable packaging? Because we have had some input saying things like, but can it really be safe to package food inside of this? Won't it be contaminated? What's your insight regarding these kinds of things?
So at the moment, these kind of packages, we are, in terms of, just to answer the last question about the safety, it is all, we actually approach it as food, so it's all edible. So in that sense, it is safe to consume them. I think in terms of the accessibility, I think that's why it's a really interesting panel altogether, because there's so many different layers that Santi was talking about, in terms of where there are so many layers in terms of what is causing these different problems, and there's a lot of different ways that we need to tackle it. So I think it's really great that Oceans 52, for instance, already have a directly alternative now that we can use. And for us, of course, we have the challenges of scaling up, and maybe the technology won't be as quickly available everywhere. So it's more at the moment in Europe and quite close to home. And that's also because we don't want to be transporting water. So at the moment, for instance, in terms of the question before around transportation, we are making the machines that can go to a specific place and then use the water there. And we're really looking at applications where it's a really short use. So like the marathons, for instance, like it's just like a very short time that the water is contained, and our product is not meant to store the water for a longer period of time that then needs to be shipped. Or so I think that's really interesting that there's a lot of different cases in which water is used, but also different products that contain liquid. So I think that's I think where it's really interesting to see these different kind of approaches of how to tackle different parts of the problem. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, it totally does. Thank you very much. So we're receiving questions through the chat, and I'm gonna read you some of them to see who wants to answer them. We have a question regarding when When are the machines going to be available for the public? The one for the production of the squid packaging? When will general public have access to this?
Okay, so at the moment, we are selling the machines. So contact us, and if you want to buy a machine, we can
Congrats.
make that happen. But to the general public, there's already, so we're working together with Unilever, for instance, to package some sauces. So we're working also together with, it's a collaboration with Just Eat as well. So to do food delivery. So there's already some moments as well as for the marathon and different events. And at the moment you can go, I think we're soon launching on the website that you can order some sauces or different products as well. So they're accessible. I think also in terms of what you said before with the general public and the kind of how people respond to it, I think because people are getting more and more aware about these problems. And a lot of the times when we are doing events and things, like the whole team kind of always has like these interactions with people that try the products, which is really, really exciting. Is like the whole experience is very different. So people really like the product as it is, and then they also really like the whole idea about it, of course, in terms of the sustainability. So there's, I think, these kind of challenges also offer a new opportunity for us to rethink packaging in general and the whole system, and how we interact with the products and how we can change our behaviors and consumption. And I think that's also quite exciting, and it's really exciting to see and talk to the public about that and to understand what they're looking for. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's amazing. So next question is for Santi. It's is tap water safe everywhere in Europe? I'm asking you this.
No, I guess I would love to have the answer, but you know, it's very sad to say that I've been facing myself situations where for a period of time, tap water becomes not safe. Okay, so imagine that situation: a population of 1,000 inhabitants in the coast. Okay, during summer is receiving 100 more times people. The pressure it has on the phreatic threshold is so big that it turns the water to bring some toxics that are coming from the people harvesting products and agricultural, let's say, pesticides and stuff like that, that makes the water not safe for a period of time. Okay? And this has been happening in the Mediterranean, and it's still happening every summer. Okay? So how edible or potable water is accessible for people just through a very nice way to clean the water, but it can come to a point that is the rhythm of cleaning is not enough, okay, or the quantity of pesticides and products that are coming with the water are so big that are making this product not safe. So safety, it's one of the main reasons why water was bottled, and this is a nice way to give access to safe water in Africa or in some countries in Asia. People are dying not because having access to safe water. So that's the first thing. But sadly, it's also happening in the most developed countries as well. So I would say that it depends on the region, and it depends on the period of the year that you need to check the local government or the local authorities to know if the product is safe or not.
Okay, thank you very much, Santi. That's a little bit scary, to be honest, but it is important for us to understand what is happening right now so we can solve it nowadays. We have a question for Michael as well. They're asking us, how does a water making machine cost to give safe water to one family in a year? To give safe water to a family in 1 year, how much would it cost to do it through one of your machines, or how many economical resources should be needed for this?
For family use, we have a machine which produces up to 30 liters of fresh, pure drinking water per day. The end user price for a machine like this is around €2,000 as a one-time fee. A maintenance kit which should be around 100 to €150 per year. That's it. It's usually less, actually much less, than what you spend on packaged water in a year for family use. I can't hear you, Karlijn.
I'm sorry. I mean, oh, that's amazing. A 2,000 one-time fee.
That's
for
it.
the whole year. That's amazing.
No, the 2,000 is not for the whole year. It's for 7 years.
It's for 7 years. Okay,
Yes. We actually are able to make this technology cheaper and more efficient every year. And I promise you that those prices, this machine that I'm talking, that we're discussing now, is a premium class machine that provides you ice cold water and hot water for your tea and coffee and IoT connection and everything. But we also have the same principle of machine without all the bells and whistles that provides only water, and the cost will be around €500. That is actually addressed for an undeveloped markets when people just need the water. They don't need all the benefits of hot and cold and internet connections and the show off.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm interested to ask you all, how would these initiatives all merge and add up? Because they're very different in each other. Perhaps the sustainable packaging can be easier applied in other areas like the selling of water, but I would be interested to see how would an ecosystem in which we can have the machines and also the packaged water, because even though we can have the machine, we really want to transport our water with us. We want to take it where we go. We're used to this kind of thing. So how do you think that would work moving forward?
May I start to answer? I believe that there is a huge opportunity here for all of those technologies and companies to collaborate, because if we will refill those amazing packages by Notpla with water from air and distribute it, it will all benefit the society, and of course it will help to save the oceans. And I'm coming from Israel, where we are facing a different ocean problem, not in a different, I will say an additional one, because beside all the plastics and all the waste that Santi just mentioned that is actually ruining the oceans, we are also using desalination here. And this is another technology which actually provides us the water, but on the other hand, killing the oceans. So I believe there is a huge synergy between the three companies and the three concepts. That's my opinion.
Who wants to go next?
So Karlijn, you go?
Sure.
Yeah, you go, Santi.
Okay.
Oh, Karlijn. Who wants to go first?
Go, Santi.
Okay. So no, I was about to say the same thing, Michael, in a kind of the present, the future, and the next future. So I think that water, or let's say that the impact on water, on sustainability and efficiency in using the water in the world cannot be solved from just one angle. It needs to have kind of complementarity I would love to have no plastic water packaged by Notpla and no plastic water delivered in your Watergen technologies. Because that way, it would be the way that we give 52% of our profits back to ocean protection. So I think that, as you said, it's a question to not change just the way we deliver packaging, but to change also the way we do not deliver packaging and to change the way we do not serve the society and the community with our businesses.
Karlijn.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I think it's the combination of different angles that can really make a difference, and we really need to see also, I think, location per location, what is the best solution and why are we packaging water, and do we need to package water, and what is then the best solution that fits that area. And I think that's the only way forward. Like, for instance, one of the things that we haven't mentioned is just the switch to, if we're saying like, oh, we're all consumers, we're so used to having water on the go. Like here you have access to a lot of drinking water in London, reusable bottles, those kind of things. Like I think it's just, there can be small changes that can make a big difference. And I think that's why it's just looking at the area and then looking at what are the best combinations. And I'm very excited to have an Ocean 2052 and Watergen Notpla combination.
Another question, Nacho?
Yeah. Is there a project that in somehow, now that exists a project that you can work together, or there's anything related to the future of waters and protection that they contact you, or there's some international organization talking to you both, trying to get a kind of a team protecting the water in the earth? There's someone like leading an initiative talking to you? That's a question.
For us, it's not from the perspective of water, but we're talking to different initiatives connected to seaweed, and they're really about setting up a sustainable seaweed industry in Europe as well as in the world. So that's from the UN, the Lloyd's Registry is a seaweed manifesto that was just launched, and we're also part of Seaweed for Europe. And I think that's really interesting because there we get in contact with the suppliers, with new farmers that are setting up farms in the local area, and how does a sustainable business look like, and what are the kind of materials that we use for packaging, because seaweed in a lot of situations is sometimes used for other things, and then what kind of resources are the best to use. So in that sense, we are connected to some initiatives, but at the moment not from water that I know of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that you answer for everyone, right? So
we have a lot more questions that are coming through from our broadcast and also from our Zoom. So,
but if may I add something?
Yes.
I think that this is the time to make this change, and maybe if we will join forces, the three of us, we actually can bring those organizations and huge funds to work with us, to interest them with this 360-degree approach, like Santi said. And I think that it should interest a lot of organizations. And you know what? I'm taking the initiative here, and I will contact everyone after the panel, and we will do it. And hopefully on the next year, on next Foodture, we will show you the results already, because I believe that with my colleagues here, we can really make this impact very fast.
That's amazing that you say this, because that's precisely why we created Foodture, is to make these kinds of connections, to bring this kind of information to the public, and also to get hope out there that the future can be more positive than we think it's going to be right now. I know we have a little few minutes left, but there are a lot of questions coming in from our broadcast and from the Zoom. So I'm going to read you a couple more. Well, one more because I'm being given the time. They are asking us, what are your actual hopes for the future of water? Who wants to go first?
I will start. Our hopes are much better than they were yesterday because we are selling more. And I think that it's common to the three of us. Okay? So it is stupid to say it this way, but the reality is that there are two ways to look at the future. The negative way can only be used to moving us towards a solution. When you see the big challenges that we are facing as a society, what do? You go to Himalayas and you hide there just to die in 10 years. There's no future in this. Okay, it's a very egoistic point of view. If you want to solve it, just start working today. And for sure, it won't be the perfect answer, but it will be much stronger solution than not doing anything or just putting your like on Instagram, thinking that you are acting on this. You can act by voting, you can act by consuming, you can act by attending conferences, you can act by spreading the word, or you can act by investing in these nice companies, or you can act on having our products or solutions replacing all the solutions that are old-fashioned. There are many ways that we can start acting, and every time that you act, it gives you more hope. And this is kind of a, let's say, positive fuel that turns the wheel, keeps the wheel turning all the time.
Great, thank you. Anyone else that want to add something in?
I completely agree, and I think I think the few things that are really important, or what I hope that is also being taken away, is that we appreciate and value water in general, and just in general see, because I think it's in a lot of situations it's just a simple commodity, but it's so important, and it's important for all forms of life. And I think that's really important to have then a better understanding of this value. And I think also the demand from the public to push for other companies to make changes and to make the right decision as a consumer, and to support people that are working to make these kind of changes. I think that's for me one of the big things.
Thank you, Karlijn. I want to say thank you. Why we choose people like you? Because you are pioneers, you are pioneering, you are brave, discovering new ways. We never thought before that maybe the source of the water will be the air. But thank you that we have this information on the table. Me, as a teacher of a university, for example, I really like to show to my students the work that you are doing since the last years, let's say, that you are always on our mind. So I think that that's a super important thing, to have people follow. We are a kind of a lost in humanity. Leaders. We need leaders. We need leaders that are pioneers. And we need to create paths of hope. That's something that we try to do. So today happened something amazing, that we connect this information, and I think that this is key for us. All of us are water too. I mean, like, we are working, that's a one thing. Universe, it's only one sound. It's our heart, with the heart of all the animals in the earth. Heart, sorry. It's one rhythm. And we have to be close to this rhythm. We need to create harmony. So I just want to say thank you. It's amazing to be here with you. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, all the teams. I'm going to say to Arturo Vittori, hello
when you see this.
when you see this, and thank you for being with us in another part of the world working, creating these towers that those guys are doing, that it's also an amazing project. Thank you for everyone. I let the word to Carolina.
Well, I know it was a very short time. I hope next year we can have more. Hopefully it will be a different context in which we might connect in a different way. We really, truly appreciate your time for being here with us, Karlijn, Michael, Santi. And I just wanted to say to the public, if you like the curation of content that we do, the amazing talent that we present to you, go to our website, follow them, keep looking at their work, and also look at our section for donations, because this year we're offering all of our talks content for free, because we want to support social innovation projects, Abono Kilómetro Cero, Huarca Water, Food for Good, Food for Soul, Health Warriors. They're amazing initiatives. We want you to go visit them, and if you like what we do, go help them. Go, a little bit of help goes a long way for these kinds of associations. So thank you very much, and let's stay tuned because we will be back at 17:30. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.